let's get started, because it's a pretty simple topic. And really, be quite frank with you, I'd like to hear your thoughts about it, including yours, Alan and Anna. Anna, you're a very experienced operator, so it's really good to have you as well. And Kristine, she's been in business for goodness knows how many years. I don't know how many years. I don't want to ask that question because it's too personal. But whatever it is, she's been around for a long time. Anyway, our topic is, are you offering what people really want? And the reason I said that is because quite often for people who are running, especially in a small business, quite often they've got a really good opportunity. But for some strange reason, people aren't buying what you've got to offer. Now, there's a whole lot of reasons for that to happen, okay? And I thought we'd just spend today sharing some thoughts about this as far as you're concerned. I mean, for example, some people, want to grow, for example. They really want to grow, but they fear the feeling of looking stupid, so they don't make a decision, right? And that's the reason why they like your offer, but they won't accept it. Or another one, they want freedom. Okay, they want, for whatever the word freedom really means when you think about it, but they want freedom, right? But they have this fear of, how would you say that, of following a routine, because to them that's not freedom. But to be quite frank, if you don't have a routine, you'll never achieve any darn freedom. But that's sort of a matter of conjecture for people. So there's things like that. So without me saying too much more, let me throw over to you. Can we start with you, Anna? Your thoughts. What are your feelings about, are you offering people what they really want, okay? And maybe what possible reasons why they don't buy what you're offering. What about you, Anna? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm not too sure, to be honest. I mean, I've worked in sales for, it's roughly 30 years now. Not necessarily business. I mean, obviously with 15, not many people have a business, but I'm trying to. Well, it doesn't work all the time. And if I could find the root cause of that, it would be a game changer, let's put it this way.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of factors involved when you think about it, Anna. For example, in simple terms, I like to keep things really simple. In simple terms, people want visibility, for example, right? They really want visibility, especially if they've got an online business. But one of their fears is they fear being judged by people. So that stops them, right? Think about that. I'm just trying to give you things to think about. Another one would be they want to be a leader. They want to be considered as a leader. But these same people won't accept any accountability.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just trying to give you things that I've done. I've been online for too many years. I don't want to talk about it because I'm an oldie, right? But I want you to share about that. Some people want, for example, clarity and direction. That's what I want. Kristine, just give me clarity and direction. That's all I want, okay? If you can do that, you've got me. But
Matt, I have. You told me today, every time I meet up with you, every time we connect, right? I give you a checkup, like a rego check.
Yeah, you do. Well, the problem is those people who want clarity, okay, are often the very same people who really can't make a decision.
Yeah.
I've got a different slant on things.
Well, okay, I've said enough. I've got a whole lot of these things, but I just want to get you talking. That's what it is, because I don't want to go on for hours. This is going to be a very quick session, okay? So, share with me.
Did you want to continue on, Anna?
I just wanted to say,
Oh, sorry.
No. I was just going to say the same. Yeah, try. Can we hear
Is that any better? Is the sound any better?
Yes.
So far.
Okay.
Try your video, see if it works.
Yeah. Okay, and the good thing is that there were a crowd of air hostesses and air crew here just a minute ago, and they've gone, so there's less background noise. I'll just mention something about the topic today. Are you offering people what they want? Because this is fundamental to what any business is offering. And what I've just been talking about with Simon Coulson and his team from the Internet Business School is about the old way and the new way of establishing what it is that people want. And now you can use GPT to actually help you to identify before you actually produce a course. You don't know whether a course or a product offering that you're making is going to be in demand by people. So you can actually do the research using various AI tools. And I've got notes of these, which I'm going to share with Anna a bit later, because she's my business partner. So I'll be sharing those, but I'll also share them with you as well, Peter, because we've also got our sort of relationship going as regards you acting with us to help us with our marketing. And I'll also share them with Kristine, because I know that Kristine has an interest in this sort of stuff, and she's very kindly shared her course with me before, which is excellent. But the point is, you need to understand whether what your product offering is going to sell. So you need to research it. You need to find out, is it a trending topic? Are the relevant keywords actually ones that are in demand? So there's an awful lot of homework that you need to do before you even put your idea out there. But you know, as Simon's team was just saying, the real test is not the research. You in the end, you have to test your product. So in the end, you have to try whatever your idea is on real people. So you can do all the research that you want in the background. You can use that to try and guide you on the pricing and the content of the product that you're trying to put out there. But in the end, you've got to launch it. So that was all I just wanted to say. But it's absolutely topical, this subject, for us at the moment, Anna and myself and Louise, who's not here, because we're looking at offering services. And I did have a conversation with a leading sort of property expert who was thinking, unusually thinking, that you couldn't any longer offer property training because everyone's got access to ChatGPT. But the thing is that not everyone wants to use ChatGPT, and sometimes people want to have support with things, and they want to get a result by paying money for it rather than, you know, paying money for a course that shows them how to. They just pay money and they get the result. So that's my input. So let other people comment on that.
Alan, look, I agree with you 100%. Okay, but don't be too overburdened with this. I mean, by all means, you need to get your offer right. I correct that. But and your comment about research is truly very, very true, right?
Yeah.
But the objective is to identify the right audience.
Yes.
At the right time, with the right offer.
Yeah.
And in the right way. Mm-hmm. Those four things are the key. Because you can have any of those. If you muck up any one of those four, you're not going to do any good. Especially if you don't do it the right way. Because you know, like an Anna and Kristine, especially if you're online, every man and his dog is trying to sell you something, right? Everybody.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a matter of how you do it the right way. So it's the right person at the right time, right? Done the right way in particular. Yeah. Those three things are critical. And if we don't get that right, it's a sad end.
The thing is that you shouldn't have a product until you've done your research in the market to find out who your audience is, what they want, and so on. Then you design your product for that. That's the right way to do it, right? But well, yeah, I sort of know that. But the thing is also, you know, I'm 71 years of age, so I know a lot about workplaces and workers and bosses. And everybody wants to make money. The boss wants to make money. The workers want to make money. Now, the thing is, when I had my business in Sydney for 20 years, people didn't want to be unwell. And when they got unwell, they wanted to be well. So I also found a need in the workplace because most of the people who came to see me had injured themselves at work. And I decided that that was the business's responsibility to, as an occupational health and safety thing, that they should look after their people. So I created seminars and a program where I went into businesses and, you know, set people up with their workstations correctly and then educated them on what to do, what not to do, and why that is so. And then I do a report on my findings and the work that I did to management. And occasionally I also did some workshops or seminars in association with that, because those organisations recognised that it was their responsibility to look after their people, to prevent them having injuries, and they were prepared to spend some money to look after their people, because also they were suffering from absenteeism. You know, when people are off sick, they're costing the organisation money, but they're not productive. And even if they're not 100% well, they come to work and they're not functioning at their best, they're still not as productive as, you know, they should be. So from the time I had my business, a bricks and mortar business, and now I've set up online, what I do is an extension of what I did previously. And a lot of people, I find, are not proactive with their health, they're reactive. They wait until something goes wrong before they actually do something. Now, those people don't really know what, I mean, they want to be well, but they don't know how to really be well. And they don't understand that it's an investment and not an expense. So that means there's a certain amount of education has to go on to make people aware of what's happening. So, okay. You know, like, so you can create your market.
Your audio is playing up a fraction. Kristine.
I didn't know that. I can hear an echo. Anyway, so basically what I'm saying is that you know what people need, and the statistics show there's a need. So, you know, I want to help people be well and educate people to be well. But I also am working on getting into government organisations so that I can set up programs to help people, because people need to be educated in that. So in my case, it's perhaps a little different because I'm trying to create the awareness and education, you know, to establish myself.
No, because I mean, think about, I mean, at the risk of oversimplifying this, but I like to keep things really simple, right? Because this world's too damn complicated.
Yes, it is.
Think about this. People want wellness. Everybody wants wellness.
Everybody wants wellness. Yeah,
Everyone wants wellness. But
that's a very broad market, so you can't.
Are they prepared to make the commitment to achieve the wellness that they want?
Well, that's right.
And it's the same thing in terms of Anna and Alan's situation. People want to have successful investments, but are they prepared to make the decision to take on things that may be new to them? Even doesn't matter how good it is, or what the reputation is, or what the circumstances are. There's a whole lot of things. I mean, we are dealing with people, and we are imperfect humans, and you cannot predict them, and you can't assume anything. And the last thing you should do is try to assume anything. Okay?
No, that's right. You can't assume. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And in your case, Kristine, and I'm not the expert in well, I'm just talking about. I mean, Anna, I'm an oldie. I'm going to be 80 soon, right? So I can say all these stupid things, right? But in case of yours wellness, whenever I'm talking to Kristine, Alan, and Anna, I always feel like she's giving me the once over, all right? Because she knows I haven't been well. And she knows, by the way, I have made a commitment and I promised her I'd do these things and I'm doing them, all right? But it took forever for me to do that. It took forever for me to do that because I thought, it'll be right. I'm sure I'll be okay. It's not that bad. Whatever it was, I was making up excuses not to make a decision what is in my own best interest. And that applies also to a whole lot of fields, including the investment fields, Anna and Alan. It's the same thing, right? Because you're dealing with people, not necessarily who are risk averse, because they are investors. But what investment do they want?
There is an outlay and there's a cost. It doesn't matter what you sell people, there's a cost. And they're weighing up, is it going to be worth my while? And can I trust this person that they're going to do the job? That's really what it comes down to as well, isn't it? That they trust you.
That is a very important part of the equation. TRUST, absolutely. Absolutely. Trust and integrity, okay? That's the key issue. Anyway. Anna, more thoughts from you.
Yeah, I've got so I don't know your business, Kristine, but I get what you're saying. And so I work at a desk, right? We do have the investment business but I spend like 10 hours a day sitting. I'm not,
Therein lies a problem.
Yeah, it is a problem, I know. But I refuse to confess to myself it is a problem. And then problems just started, all sorts. So sometimes people know. So I know, like I as a person, not as an investor or an entrepreneur, I know I want to feel well in my body, but I kind of thought exactly the same you did, Peter. It's all gonna be fine. It's just gonna come around. Well, not. Guess what? You need to do something.
You do. If you look at my post that I put up this morning, it says that the body keeps score and that one day the bill will become due.
Yeah, exactly. So that day has come for me. So I needed to change something. But if we look on the grand scheme of things, people sometimes know. So I say, for example, my son is in uni at the moment. He wants to have this big business. But what are the daily things? What are the things you're actually doing or the things you're learning to get you from A to B? And that's exactly the path we need to show people who want to be well. You need to exercise more. You need to eat healthy food. You need to have massage. You need to do this. You need to do that. Or as an investment, right? My money is saved in a bank. Or I have worked with this person all my life. Or, it's a trusted third party because my mate works with them. It's just, you need to show them what it can be and how you get there. And I think the getting there, telling the story and making it important to the person you kind of telling it to makes a difference.
Well, I have stories, about clients who came to me with problems, various types of problems. I've got lots of stories. And they were all success stories because I helped them, whereas the traditional system was not, because the traditional system wasn't treating the root cause. It was treating the symptoms. Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, but what I'm saying is that people don't understand, that a lot of people don't value themselves. That's what I think. And they don't know that they deserve whatever. And it could be any coach. It doesn't matter what you want to give them. It could be a mental health thing. They could be stuck in life. Doesn't really matter. But they don't value themselves enough to spend the money on them, yet they'll do everything they can for everybody else. And so
you are absolutely right. So many people have a problem with self-belief.
Yeah.
They want to do it, but whether it's in wellness or whether it's in investments, hello, Gabby, lovely to see you, or whether it's in the area that Gabby deals in, okay? People want to be winners, but you know what? Sometimes they are not prepared to accept am I that sort of person? Can I be that sort of person? Can I be that person that Kristine wants me to be in terms of wellness? Can I be the investor that Anna wants me to be? I mean, yeah, sure, I've got an investment profile. Sure, I'm prepared to take a risk. But do I trust the UK market? Do I trust commercial property?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe I should go to New Zealand or whatever. All these things are there. And all I'm saying to you is that the whole purpose of today is to be generically giving you some sense of ideas that will right across whatever areas you are involved with. Because at the end of the day, your success will be simply this. And you probably won't believe this, but hear me out. You don't want to make more sales, right? You might think, what is this old guy talking about? But I'm telling you again, don't try to make more sales. What I'd like you to
Solve
do,
problems.
what I'd like you to do is to cultivate more buyers. Think about that
Yeah,
for a different.
I get that. Yep.
Completely different mindset, right?
And there's a certain amount of giving in that equation. You have to give some value.
But by cultivating buyers, people are coming to you saying, Kristine, will you help me? Anna, is this true? Wow, I didn't realize this was possible in the UK. Alan, how can I do this? They are coming to you. They're buying off you rather than you trying to sell to them. Can you see what I'm getting at? And it completely reverses the whole psychology of the situation. Now, Gabby, you haven't said a word yet, so I'm going to ask you, first of
Hi,
all,
Gabby.
introduce yourself, say hello to Anna, and you know Kristine, you've met Alan. Anna's from the United Kingdom.
Gabby.
Gabby's from the USA. Over to you.
Okay, sorry. Nice to meet you, Anna. I feel like I've seen you before. I don't know where, but I feel like I've
Have
seen
you?
you.
All right.
Yeah,
I don't remember, to be honest.
You
We'll
look
figure it
familiar.
out at some point.
I'm sure. Peter, good morning. Kristine, good morning. Alan,
Hi, Gabby.
good morning.
What
Yeah, I
we're
was
talking
feeling
about, and I'll put you into the deep end, Gabby. I think what we're talking about is, are you offering what people really want?
Oh, yeah,
That's what we're
thank you.
doing.
Okay. So as far as that goes, I think so. I hope so. I feel like, I think that we all offer what people want. We all have like a purpose. We all have something that people are going to want. But whether we present it the way that they need to see it, I don't know. Because I
That's a
actually had this
point.
conversation earlier with somebody. Sometimes we present, like, for example, I was telling everybody that I was a web designer in the beginning. But, you know, after like a lot of discussions, I realized, oh, I do web design, but I also am pretty much a brand strategist. That's the big thing that like most people need from me. And sometimes we think we're doing one thing, but we're really doing another. So I think that it's important to be able to like identify what you truly are doing and in order to be able to like project that to other people to be able to understand if you are giving them what they want. Sorry, does that make sense what I said?
Yeah. In fact,
Yeah,
that,
makes
that,
sense.
that what you just said is true, because there's a woman came to me and said, Kristine, I've got aches and pains. I've got back pain, neck pain, and shoulder pain. Can you help me? I've been to the doctor, the physio, the chiro, and they're not helping me. So after the third visit, when she wasn't improving, I said, I don't think it's a physical thing. And I mean, she had to fill out the form and answer all these questions, and she couldn't think of anything that had caused her physical problem. So after the third session, I said, it has to be a psychological trauma that's causing this. And she goes, no, I can't think of anything that could have caused it. And I said, between this session and the next session, I want you to come back and maybe you'll have something to tell me. I want you to really think deeply about whether or not it is a psychological issue. She came back the next week and she said to me, can I speak to you confidentially? And I said, yeah, of course, it's always confidential. She said, I was raped by my uncle at 13.
Mm.
And I said, that'll be a problem. Now, this woman was 67. So for 50 odd years, she had not even given this a single thought. She pushed it so far at the back of her mind. So she came to me for a physical problem. So she didn't know that she had a psychological, emotional trauma that needed healing. So people don't always know what they want. And,
That's true.
you know, you have to dig a little to find out what it is they really need.
Yeah, but you have to dig with empathy and dig with
Well,
integrity and be
yeah.
very careful, because at that point, Kristine, when you think about it, people become extremely vulnerable.
No, this woman, I gave her a program of how she was going to get over this thing. She blitzed it.
Okay,
No problem.
good. Because, I mean, that raises another issue obliquely. And coming back to what, Gabby, you were referring to in particular, because people want to think good. People think they can do this. People want to think big, or people want change, for example, but they can't get out of their comfort zone. That's the problem.
Well, that's another one.
They
Yeah,
can't get out of
yeah.
their comfort zone. I mean, and whether it doesn't matter how much they talk to you, if they can't get out of their comfort zone, they're never going to get the change anyway. Whether it's wellness or investment, whether it's website design that Gabby deals with, it doesn't really matter, right? At the end of the day, if they feel uncomfortable in any way, for whatever reason, and sometimes those reasons are truly an excuse, right? Because what you are prepared to offer them as the right solution could be the perfect one for them, but they're not feeling comfortable enough to make a decision. And so the question I'm putting to you all is, why is that the case? Why would people feel uncomfortable not to make a decision? Because that is the secret to your success.
But they don't understand the connection of what you're going to offer them and the problem that they've got. They don't understand the process, whereas you do. That's one thing.
Maybe, but perhaps, I've got your hand raised. Hang on, Gabby. Maybe it's not necessarily that. Maybe they perceive that you don't understand them.
Oh, that's a point too. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe they think you don't know what I really think. I haven't told you yet because I don't feel comfortable enough to
But they have, yeah, that's right. They haven't shared the nitty gritty of the problem.
That could be an issue. Gabby, sorry.
It's okay. So if that's the case, I think that a lot of times people, so they don't understand, like you said, they don't understand what we're offering sometimes. And they think that you're just like everybody else. So that's why it's important to show your value. And John would be so proud of me right now because he says this one thing, you know, his motto is fall in love with the prospect's problem. If you truly fall in love with their issue or their problem, I believe that what will end up happening is you will actually know the reason. Like, so the actual like definition of reason, it states that, you know, it's like something that actually causes something to like happen, you know? But if you don't know the deep down inherent reason, you are never going to be able to get to the end of the prospect's issue, and you won't be able to identify how you can be like a doctor in a way to the scenario. So I think that's pretty neat, like to think about. But
Yeah.
I have to go though, sadly. But it was nice to meet you all.
Okay, good to see you, Gabby. We'll finish soon too. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Another thing is that people really want to be chosen. Okay, they really want to be chosen, but these same people don't show up. They want to be successful, but they don't show up. And maybe they're thinking, oh, they'll come and see me, they'll find me, I've got a website and people will come to me. That doesn't happen in the real world. And so you're faced with this challenge. How do I deal with Anna, who's not showing up, but at the same time, get her to open up and share with me without me feeling like I'm pushing something down her throat, where she becomes uncomfortable because she feels like I'm overpowering her. I'm making her do things that she doesn't want to do. This topic, this is why I put this topic here, because it's not that often spoken about, but it is critical to success in whatever business you're in. Okay, I mean, right now I'm working with Alan and swamping you. Sorry, Alan, I'm swamping you with stuff in terms of an expansion of his Alpus group and a range of things. But it's the same things there, Alan, because at the end of the day, people really have to be prepared to accept that they are willing to change and wanting to change and to use the solution that you're offering. It doesn't matter how much integrity it is, it doesn't matter how much goodness it's doing for people in the United Kingdom, it doesn't matter what it is, they've got to believe in you. And if they don't believe in you, nothing's going to happen.
But also they have to want to change. And a lot of people don't like change because it requires effort and it requires getting out of your comfort zone and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't like change, but I change every damn day, otherwise I get lost.
Yeah, but again, you need to align on the values. Like they need to feel like what you're offering. You need to speak their language and kind of lure them into it. Because I had that conversation with my parents. To my liking, they drink way too much, and I said to them, "I'm not drinking Monday to Friday, alcohol. I mean," and it was like, "You're sick or something?" I'm like, "No, because I wanted to," but it's just they have to. The person on your point, Kristine, has to kind of make an effort and want to. But again, probably if you're giving a reward that kind of speaks their language and they feel like it feels something they want to have or get or become, then you've got better chances. Well, it has to be their language, and I think that language.
They've got to see the reason why they should change.
Yeah,
they've got to understand.
Words of wisdom. Well done. Yes. Yeah. Wow. I mean, the other thing is this: people want. I mean, there's a word that everyone throws around these days: authenticity. Right? They want authenticity because we live in a skeptical, distrusting, uncertain world.
Yeah.
Be authentic, and everything will be fine. Okay.
But it's not as simple as that.
No, the bottom line is these same people have a huge fear of being vulnerable.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So, I mean, there's or sometimes they how would you say this? They want to teach people, right? But they have this problem. You were talking about teaching before, Kristine, right? And I'm not talking to you personally, but I'm talking conceptually. People want to teach people about wellness or about investment opportunities in the United Kingdom with Eleanor, whatever it may be, okay? But deep inside them, they have this fear. Am I good enough to do that? Will they believe me? This self-doubt is still there, okay?
Yeah.
And this is not present in your case, Anna or Alan, but it is present in many of your clients. That's my point to you. And that will prevent them from making a buying decision.
Yeah.
Food for thought. Share with me, oh wise one. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I agree with you, Peter. It comes down to making your offer attractive to people and them seeing the value in buying from you. They can see that by buying your solution, they can improve their own situation. And it needn't necessarily be a quick thing. It might be that you've got to have several discussions about it, and you've got to demonstrate with social proof that what you are suggesting you can offer them actually works.
We lost you. Correct, Alan, correct. And that raises the point. I mean, you made the comment, you need to have several discussions, right? And this raises the issue. People want momentum. People want success in investments, all right? But then they procrastinate over every little step they have to take in order to get that to happen. And you think, what is wrong with these people, for goodness sake? I've just shared with them, the ultimate solution, right? But they are still.
It's only human, Peter. It's only human. I do that myself. I've spent quite a lot of time thinking, why didn't I do that? because I know how to do it. I know I have to do it. There's no one else to do it. So well,
That is a
it's really
human. It's a human thing.
I know it's true, but sometimes we forget that, Anna. That's what I'm getting to. And sometimes we blame ourselves. Oh, it's not working for me. I'm not doing the right thing, but it's not that at all. It's these other aspects that we're talking about. And this topic should be spoken about much more widely than it is. That's what I'm trying to say. Because it is conceptually reasons for existence.
There's no cut and dried answer either. I mean, it's quite an in-depth study, really, isn't it? There are lots of aspects to it.
Yeah, I mean, you can bring it down to this. You want more connections, for example, on social media, whether it's LinkedIn or something, right? But you fear rejection.
Peter, I'm going to have to go. Excuse me. Nice to see you, everyone, and I'll catch you tomorrow, Peter. Yeah. Okay. Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Have a good day.
Bye. Bye, Alan.
Any thoughts or God bless you, Kristine. We'll wind it up if you like. Is that enough for today?
I don't know. I think it's an interesting topic, and I think it's I understand what you're saying. You've got to, I guess, you win the person over by, I guess, by being empathetic. You have to have empathy. You have to listen, I guess. Listening is probably the biggest thing, isn't it? And Alan not Alan, what's his name? John was talking about having, a big mouth and not listening at all. Whereas what you need, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. You should do twice as much listening as talking. And so I think if you listen to your client, but then again, sometimes they don't want to talk, so you'd have to ask questions, right? You have to know what kind of questions to ask them. And I guess that shows interest. If you're asking questions, you're showing interest in them as well.
Yes, as long as you're not doing the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah.
Right? The questions have got to be a conversation. It's a dialogue, not a presentation.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
If it's not a conversation, then it doesn't matter what questions you ask, they're going to become more and more and more defensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. That's enough from me. Thank you for your contributions, Anna and Kristine. Lovely to see you, Anna, and I hope we'll see you again soon. All right.